day one right across the country yesterday for a lot of clubs, senior players. This is AFL, of course, and therefore the full groups officially the start to pre-season at multiple clubs on what should be today, Cameron Mooney, the fifth day of the first Ashes test. Felt like that ended months ago now. Essendon is very much one of a reset there, given the changes at board level, high performance level, at the draft and at coaching level as well. They presented yesterday, Brad Scott and Andrew Welsh, the coach and that new president, addressing the players at Tullamarine. This was just a little bit of the new president, Andrew Welsh, and his speech to the players yesterday.
I've been around this club now for 25 years. And you're going to get a lot of advice around this footy club. And one key piece of advice I can give to you about this is this footy club is about appreciation. And you appreciating the opportunity that you have within the football club. And not the expectation of what this football club has to do for you. And if you use that as your grounding point, around what you can do for this football club will outpay you a million times more than you give it. The small things matter. The small things matter. How we connect, how we talk, how we integrate with each other. These small things matter to realise that big thing that we're looking to achieve. So we're leaning forward. We're proud to be Essendon people. We're not stepping back. And that's a really exciting time because I feel that we're coming up to one of the most exciting eras of our footy club. We're not stepping back anymore. We're stepping into this.
Now, I like him. I like the sound of that. And that I had a look
a good man, Walsh.
at the response. And Essendon supporters, by and large, on all the social media channels you care to keep abreast of.
Jumped on it.
Very positive. Love it. I'm keen on your thoughts on this stuff. Like, there is an element of we've heard all this before, and talk is relatively cheap, of course. I mean, when you haven't won a final since 2004, that's always going to be the case. But that's not changing in November 2025. So you need to put your stamp on things, which hasn't he done that, Andrew Walsh, spectacularly during the trade period with Zach Merritt. And if there is to be a culture shift of sorts that Welsh is going to engineer, then it needs to start. It needs to start now. But
yes.
Let's see how they go, how the next generation of players go, how the injury list goes, which is a big problem this year, and the elder statesmen like Merritt and how they rebound and how they reset.
Well, the injury one is going to be the biggest key for them because it doesn't matter what team you are. If you lose a handful of your best players or just a handful of players, it just hurts every team. Now, particularly if you're not a great team, it's going to hurt you even more. So the injury list is going to be a big one, and they've already addressed that.
Matthew Innes has come on, who's got a great track record at the Dogs and West Coast, and now starts up at Essendon.
But I remember early 2000s, we had a similar meeting, and we weren't going that well on the field. And I remember one of our board members actually said, after Cookie gave a preview of everything, on and off the field, we're doing this, we're doing that, blah, blah, blah. And basically the board member stood up and said, so Brian, basically what you're saying is off field, we're doing okay. It's just on field. Oh, geez, were we filthy.
In front of the players.
In front of the players. And I kind of feel like that's where he's heading a bit there. Well, it's like we as a club, we're a big club, and we'll continue to be a big club. And there's a lot of things they need to do. But on field, if you're not good on field, it doesn't matter how good you're going off field.
But is it a bit different for Andrew Welsh because he's not just a suit? Like he's played, and he's played for that club.
Yeah, I wouldn't take that, but I wouldn't take it badly from Welshie. But yeah, we took it pretty badly from.
But I feel like, as you should have. That's
But you know what? I look back now and go, well, she was right.
But even if the comments aren't that pointed, as a player, I reckon you sit back and go, oh, it's just a board member. What would that board member know? But I reckon when that president or board member has played for your club and knows what it's like to play for that club, I reckon there's some instant respect from the current day playing group and some cut through there. Richard's text in, well, you can't step back anymore, Welshie.
Yeah, that is a good point. I can't. It's funny though. We talk about the big four. We always talk about the big four, the big clubs. Essendon is still a big four club. It's just not a great club.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
When it becomes a great club again.
I'd agree with that.
You remember Richmond. Richmond was a big club. It wasn't a great club. Mm-hmm. Then it became a great club.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw what happened there, the Tiger Army. Collingwood have always been pretty much a great club. Carlton, we almost saw it a couple of years ago. We almost saw them come back to being a great club, taking a couple of steps back. But if Essendon get going, look out. They will come from far and wide.
Stuart.
It'll be huge.
Yeah, it will be. If that president and when you've been down and kicked and trodden on for so long,
Richmond
there's an extra
were
edge.
kicked for 30 years.
There's an edge to it.
Carlton have been kicked for 30
Yep.
years. If Essendon come back after 20 years of poor performances, mate, watch them come.
Oh,
It'll
yeah.
be huge.
Yeah, it'll have some
Can't
venom.
wait.
It'll have some venom attached to it. We don't wish to dig up and go back over old ground here to any great degree, but he hadn't spoken. He's now cleared the air, and now I reckon he just gets on with it, Cam Moon.
Now, the great thing about being inside a football club is everyone moves on very quickly. Outside, not so quickly. And we spoke about this off the top. There will be still a lot of probably hatred, extreme disappointment towards him
From the fan base?
from Essendon supporters.
Yep.
And you said they won't boo him. Well, it wouldn't surprise me if he does.
Oh,
if he
no.
does cop a little bit of that.
That would surprise me.
No, it wouldn't surprise me. But his football will do the talking, and he's a superstar. And as long as he plays great footy, I think he'll get the supporters back on his side. But from inside the club, mate, they'd be shaking hands and hugging him right now.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be a big
Yeah.
deal whatsoever.
They move on pretty quickly. He
Very,
did,
very quickly.
yeah. So does he remain captain? Is the probably the next, and this won't be decided for another couple of months, but that'd probably be the next big decision.
I
that
don't
the
think he
club have
can
to
be
make.
now. I don't think when your captain wanted to leave. And I was just interested there when he said, I never lost faith in the direction. Well, I think you did lose faith in the direction. That's why he wanted out.
Well, there's semantics at play there. So he can say that, but then in the next breath, what he would say was, well, I've got faith they'll get there, but that won't marry up with my timeline.
Yeah.
So that was his motivation for a trade. Clock's ticking. I'm 30. My birth certificate.
And can I say I was never against him going. I was for him to go because I think, and my point has always been, if you're a club, you've got to give your player an opportunity to have success. Now, if you've been there 12 years and he hasn't been given an opportunity to succeed, that's on the club.
Yeah.
And I've got no problem with the guy then going, you know what, I've given you 12 years and you haven't given me
Yeah.
a chance. I was totally fine with him walking.
I could relate to that too.
But now that he's back, I know, just being in club land, that he will train harder now, I bet you, than he ever has in his life. And I reckon he's probably trained to his full extent already.
Well, he hired a running coach.
Yeah.
He's actually
You-
dropped
what-
some
you-
weight.
oh,
I'm not sure he needed to do that, but
He'll have number 7 best and fairest next to his name
Hmm.
by the end of the year.
And then does he request?
And
a
then probably
trading?
go. Well, who knows? Again, he wants success, but he wants it at Essendon Footy Club.
Well, so they're going
There's
to have
no
to make
question he wants it at Essendon Footy Club.
So hang on, we can overthink this, right? His motivations for leaving was he just couldn't see it happening quick enough at Essendon, right? He thinks it'll happen and the youth and whatever, but he doesn't see it happening quick enough. So what's going to change in 12 months? They're going to have to make a massive vault up
it's
the ladder for
amazing.
him to see it happening.
Well, again, injuries were a huge part of their season. If they don't have those, and of course that's an if for every football club, but if they don't, and they do have a crack at playing finals, and people might go, I can't believe you're talking finals battle. But they're going to be there around about if they have a full list. So we'll have to wait and see.
I don't think Essendon are one of the big clubs. Their single biggest problem is the club still think they are a big club and carry a sense of
Essendon are a
self-entitlement.
big club.
100%
They just think they're a good club. That's the difference.
All the metrics would say otherwise, 530. Fan base, membership base, viewership. They are huge.
They are a big club. Don't worry about that. They're just not a good club at the moment.
Well, she's right. Today's footballers, from the very top to the very bottom, are all about themselves. What's in it for me is their mantra. That's why many smaller clubs are struggling because players won't step up and do the hard yards. Well, Tim, it's a two-way street in that regard. The clubs flip on the old loyalty card quicker than you've ever seen when it suits them. Just ask Clayton Oliver at Melbourne,
Well,
and there were other examples this year.
9380 has had a crack at me saying it's not on the club. He was a captain and contract. Ridiculous view. Well, again, clubs will turn on player. So why can't a player turn on a club? But after 12 years,
Clubs got to live up to
Darryl,
their end of the bargain.
they've got to
too,
live
though.
up to their end of the bargain. You don't want to wake up every day going, great, I'm going to training, I'm busting my backside, and I'm not going to play finals again. Like that's a long 12 years to be doing that.
Yep.
And you've only got 12 to 15 years if you're lucky. If you're lucky. You want to have a chance at having success.
But other people would say he chose to re-sign. He did re-sign. He renegotiated a contract even within
But
that
again,
deal, so
why?
he didn't
Because
have to do
He wants
that.
that success at
Yeah.
the footy club. He does. He loves Essendon Footy Club. There's no question about that. He wants success. But from what I heard at the end of the year, it was very much, you know what, we probably think we're going to have to go down the youth path back to the draft. What does that tell you? means you're ages away from playing finals.
Quick question. Do Essendon make a wild card slot? Can they finish top 10?
Yeah, they could. With injuries, injury-free, when we say that, relatively injury-free, because no one does, that'd be a shot around there.
Yeah, I reckon. Might be a bit bullish to say, but this is the best list in the game.
And you know what? I'm not too far off him as well, because I actually had them finishing top 4, so I was pretty disappointed they didn't. I've got them right up there at the end of the year, next year.
Okay, so
right at the end of
you've
the year.
got Sydney in the top 4. You've got Fremantle in the top 4 as well?
Well, on paper, yes. But they've let me down the last couple of years, Freo, after.
They're not the best list in the game.
Not the best, but they're right up there. They have got a very, very good list.
Clearly, they've won the last
Very
two
good
premierships, but a lot of us thought this anyway. Brisbane have got the best list in the game. And I think Geelong have got one of the best lists in the game as well.
Yeah, wouldn't be far off it. But no, Fremantle, I don't disagree with him that Fremantle have a very, very good list. And I think they should be a hell of a lot better than they have been. And I think next year they should be at least a prelim final.
So Justin Longmuir was on this rolling contract, so it can be sacked at any moment.
And
He's a member of
I
staff.
think next year's his big year. Otherwise,
And he's got his new recruit and his old mate Mason Cox saying, "You're coaching the best list in the game, and you can't win an elimination final
pressure.
at home.
No pressure, JL.
You can't win an elimination final at home against Gold Coast, but you are coaching the best list in it."
Yeah, that wasn't a good one.
Cameron Mooney from one forward to another. How many snags and how optimistic are you around Sydney with Charlie Curnow as the focal
picked
point?
Sydney to not make the finals this year. I'm picking Sydney to finish top 4 next year.
Oh, a big vault.
Yeah, big vault.
Based on the fact
I
that
just think it was the year they probably needed to have, and I think their midfielders, they're unbelievable midfield. And you throw in a guy like Charlie, and it's funny. I was doing Brekkie Radio with Dwayne a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people saying overrated. Mate, Charlie's not overrated. Mightn't have the work ethic from what I hear that probably needs, but his talent alone. And I reckon going up there, I reckon his work ethic will pick up. It's what happens when you go to a new club. You want to impress so badly that he'll train hard. As long as his body hold up, and yes, I know that's a big question mark, but being on the SCG smaller ground, Sydney have always had that ability to get that big key forward up there, and they always do well.
And they market it appropriately. Okay, so let's say he's happy. And I don't think he was happy this year, and a few relationships clearly went south with some key people at Carlton. So he's happy, massive tick for him. And he's healthy, which is a massive tick for anyone. And Sydney played to the level we expect with a kind run with injuries. How many goals?
70 plus.
70 plus.
Yeah,
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, I think they're in for a big year, Swans. Get on them.
All right, there you go. That was Callum Mills yesterday on Charlie Curnow. And Jake Lloyd, the old-timer, beat all the kids at the time trial. He burst home to win that one. And this year, Dean Cox didn't make them do it twice either. So just the once. Just the once.
See it again. This is why they got off to a bad year, because their coach just made them do something that no player wants to do, and that is do a time trial. 2 minutes later, go, "Hey, boys, let's go again." You know what? Up yours, coach.
Yeah,
You're already on the back foot as a coach. Already.
Right. They're off you straight away. We were guessing how many goals Charlie Curnow kicks for the Swans in 2026. Thanks to Guess Iconic. It's a new fragrance for him, and it's now available at Myer. That's a good one for the stocking. Have you started your Christmas shopping yet, by the way?
Yes, we
You have?
actually. Well, Black Friday.
Jeez, you are organised.
Well, not me.
You are the parents of
Not
the
me.
So you fit a trip into Seminyak. You have your father-son trip to Noosa.
Fiona's Santa.
And you've started.
I'm Mrs. Claus. Don't worry about that.
Righto. Well, you got that beard working nicely. Is that going to lengthen out, or are you going to keep it
Jesus,
tight?
grey. I'm embarrassed how grey it is.
So's mine.
Can you grow yours while we're together?
Should we grow them together?
Yeah, come
Mine
on.
gets itchy. I got to.
You just get past the first
Yeah,
week.
they keep
and
telling me
then
that,
it
but
stops itching.
it never seems to stop.